All right, so we said that employment at will is presumed, meaning if there's nothing to the contrary, employment at will applies to that relationship. So how do we overcome that presumption of employment at will? Well, we know that if there's an agreement, a contract for a definite term, then that's going to take it out of the employment at will doctrine. It's going to limit the ability to terminate an employment relationship. So the employment at will rule contemplates that the parties may negotiate over the terms of their relationship. And now contract principles are going to apply to this agreement. We're going to take it out of the idea of rules that apply based on master-servant, employer-employee. Instead, we're going to focus on the two parties have executed an agreement. So contract principles apply to this agreement. And contract principles, you'll remember this from your introductory business law course, require these three things: offer, acceptance, and consideration. In order for there to be a valid contract, there must be these three things: offer, acceptance, and consideration. And if those are there, then the contract is going to supersede whatever employment rules that exist outside of that contract, specifically the employment at will doctrine. Now, the contract doesn't require consideration from both parties. There just has to be something of value that is passed from one party to the other. Now, if the contract specifies a term of employment, then that contract is not establishing an at-will relationship, meaning the presumption that the parties have an at-will relationship will be overcome. Even if the parties don't say anything about cause or the needing of cause for termination, if the parties specify a term, and it has to be a specific term, then that's enough to take the relationship outside of employment at will, meaning you have to justify why it is that you took the adverse employment action if there is a contract for a specific term. Now, it must be a definite term. It's not enough that we say, that we use words that indicate time. We can't say you're going to work for an annual salary of $40,000, and therefore that implies that you're going to be there for a year. It must call for a definite term. It must say something along the lines of this contract is for 1 year or 12 months. So it has to call for a specified term. If not, if we use things like annual salary, then that is going to not take it out of the at-will presumption. It's not going to overcome that presumption. So on your test, be sure to look for that question of if there's a definite term, employment at will doesn't apply. If there's not a definite term, then at-will doctrine applies. So contract calling for a specified annual salary does not constitute a specified term.